Hello again, everybody. This is a conservative law center coming at you from Atlanta once again. So I figured I'd take a step back from stories and make a real quick video um, for the conservative law student or the conservative who's planning to go to law school. We see these lawyers on TV all the time. You have people like Ben Crump, Vice President Camel Toe, President Creepy Joe Biden was. They're lawyers at one point. Um, but not very good ones, not very smart. You look at their policies. You see the now current vice president talking about during the campaign that she signed an executive order to get rid of the Second Amendment, and Creepy Joe to talk, creating law from the Oval Office, just like his former boss Obama. These lawyers were absent the day they taught law in law school. They have no idea what the Constitution is, and except for something to level their table. Okay. So you know this. I don't have to tell you that. We also know from most undergrad institutions, it can be almost dangerous for conservatives to quote come out. I mean, being a conservative in college is a new closeted ideal. You know, we people try to shame us. Don't do that. Don't do this. So now you want to go to law school. You made it through undergrad being you. What do you do in law school? You're going to face the same aspects. You're going to face the same people who want to tell you how evil you are, who, when you wear something with a conservative logo on it, or you come at them from a constitutional law perspective. Case in point, here's an example for you. So, Department of Education, nowhere in the Constitution. Your liberal friends will tell you, well, the health and the welfare clause, right? And you say, okay, well, what part of the Constitution is that? Article 1, Section 8, 18 enumerated powers. Now, how come education's not in there? Oh, well, they just, any laws to advance them, any laws to enforce is okay. And it's like, well, you know, um, James Madison was an attorney. Thomas Jefferson was an attorney. You had attorneys at that time, so there was education. It wasn't law school like how we have it, anything like that. Most of that stuff was done on the job training kind of thing. But we've had institutions in of higher education for millennia. People have gone to school, so to have this idea that there was no education, that the framers could not have envisioned a Department of Education, is just ludicrous. It actually lacks any kind of logic, and quite frankly, it makes you functionally retarded. So yeah, edgy. Ooh. Um, but when you mention that, and you also tell them there's no mention of marriage in the Constitution, you tell them the history of that. Within two sentences of having this, what you felt was a civilized conversation or debate, you become a Nazi. Which that point you win, because you ask your liberal friend, you tell them, I want the maximum amount of liberty possible, absent the threat of force of government, with the least amount of threat of force from government. How does that make me a Nazi? You have no idea what a Nazi is if you think me wanting to do me and you do you makes me a socialist. You have no clue what you're talking about. And so when these people come at you, don't get angry. They are going to say things like, "Well, you're white. You don't understand. You can't understand what it's like to be black in America." That's right, I don't. But you also don't understand what it's like to be white in America. I'm not throwing that at you. That is in turn racist. If you're calling me out for white privilege, you're judging me on the color of my skin. How is that any different than what you're claiming I'm doing to you simply by being in my seat at law school? Makes no sense. You know, we we were in torts the other day, and we were covering this case, Sholvey Reed, I believe it was. And so now we're talking about the an infection during the first trimester, and if they'd known about it, they would have terminated. Um, so the only people asking questions about bringing a tort for quote wrongful conception or wrongful life were the men in the classroom, and it was called out by the professor. She goes, I love that all the men are asking the questions and the women are throwing up their arms. Oh God, I can't believe the guys are. And of course, my comment was, well, having a child's 50-50. And boy, did they not come out attacking me. I'm a man. How you don't have the right to have any idea. So when it comes out questions like that, because you're going to cover it in law school as well. And, we're taught that, or we learn from our own personal experiences growing up, that the father has a place in the home. And the most stable per capita families are ones that aren't single parent homes. And so, excuse me. So when you're told you're not allowed to have, well, you're a man, you have nothing to say about having a baby. Well, no time in the history of civilization has a woman impregnated herself. See, you got to remember, all Democrat thought begins and ends in hypocrisy. We're not allowed as men to have any type of opinion on abortion. We're not allowed. Why? My body, my choice. We're forgetting about the body that's inside the female, inside the woman. It's not, we don't talk about that. It's a clump of cells. Women have never given birth to an elephant or a horse outside Rosie O'Donnell and Whoopi Goldberg. Other than that, we women humans don't give birth to non-humans. Okay, those were probably genetic experiments going wrong. So you gotta have a female, you gotta have a male. Two men aren't going to make a baby. Two women aren't making a baby. It's not happening. You know, so we're not allowed to have that the input on whether or not an abortion should take place. And I can get their argument. Well, I got to carry it. I'm going to have to deal with the consequences. What if the man leaves? I don't have the money to pay for it. I got it. Okay, but you also understand that the in general, outside certain conditions, a very foreseeable legal term result of having sex is a pregnancy. I hate to spoil the fun. There's other stuff you can do to not have a baby. One of the best optimum ways of birth control is abstinence. Don't have sex until you're ready. Don't have a baby until you're ready. If you don't have money to feed your child, if you don't have money to feed yourself, don't have a baby. Don't have sex. Or go buy $1.50 condom. It's not that hard. No pun intended. I just kind of flowed out. But at the same time of telling men that we have no voice because we're men, because we were born with a penis, they're born with a vajayjay, we have absolutely no opinion. We're not allowed to have any response, or we can't opine on the validity of having an abortion versus carrying the child. We're also told that men aren't doing the job. We're not standing around. Men have to help take care of the baby. So then you've got the question. So which one is it? You can't have it both ways. And there's your hypocrisy. Either we can have a say in abortion and need to stick around, or we have no say and we have no responsibility. If we have no say in that abortion, we have no responsibility. But if you want us to have that responsibility, you got to allow us to have some say. So, and you'll see the liberal mind explode. And it really is one of the funniest things that you'll ever see. If you want an example of that, watch Tenacious D in the Pick of Destiny, when Jack Black gets the Pick of Destiny and he sings and he blows a guy's mind. That's what you're going to do to a liberal. So don't get mad. Let them get mad. Okay, you don't have to get even. As conservatives, we study the Constitution. We are fans of logic and rational thought, and we can mic drop with the best of them. But don't put yourself in the situation. I was recently asked to be part of a panel of 6 students to have a discussion concerning a shirt I wore, but not about my shirt. No, 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 no. We're not singling out anybody, but we're going to have this discussion. It's going to be closed to the entire school, no faculty, so that all the students can have an uncensored conversation. Now, I can debate. I'm not scared of anything. Retired from the army. been in martial arts for 30 years, and I know my way around the Constitution and around rational thought. But I'm not going to put myself inside of an echo chamber because although I want civilized debate, there's no purpose to be sitting in an echo chamber because it's not going to go anywhere. And no matter what you say, it's going to be reported differently. So find organizations, find Feather Society, find Criminal Law Society, find the Black Law Society. It doesn't matter. Be part of an organization, but don't change who you are because you're not going to be able to represent clients in the future unless you can honestly be yourself, right? Have some tact. Don't don't throw the F bomb around. Yeah, have some decorum. Be act right. Act like your grandma's sitting right behind you and ready to smack you with the newspaper if you say something stupid. I know my grandma would. But, don't feel the need to hide. You don't have to wear it on your sleeve if you need to, if you don't want to. There is retaliation sometimes. I have seen it. I have been a victim of it. Victim. Um, I have been retaliated against, but it doesn't bother me. I don't get angry. I don't get angry about that kind of stuff. So don't allow yourself to get angry. Let them get angry. Let them get mad. Let them scream. I had someone today screenshot something that I commented on a post on LinkedIn, and they took it and they put it in the class chat room as an attack on me. Oh, look what this guy's doing. And one guy says, "Oh, well, he can't get any. He's just doing this for attention. He's not going to go anywhere." Now they're being told this by people that are not going to be here next semester because they're going to be kicked out. So, I mean, you have time to try and come at me while you have a 1.5 GPA. And I'm just saying, 1.75 GPA, you might want to study your books more. Okay. And so, anyway, that's it. That's just a little bit of thoughts. Be you. Don't pick a fight. Finish it. Know your stuff, and you're going to have to study hard because some of your professors are going to be left-wing liberal nuts who are going to try to figure out your blind grading number. They're going to try to penalize you in one way or another because most of your work outside your midterms, if you have them, and your final exam, they don't have a blind grading number, which means your name is attached to it. So if you have a word or a comma, I mean, law school professors don't just test you on if you know the elements of common law burglary or if you know the elements of negligence. They don't just test you on that. They can test you on your vocabulary, your writing, punctuation, anything that it could take to justify moving a grade down. So know your stuff. Know your book. Read. Don't just read the case book. Read other sources. Learn the law. And then when you put that down on paper, there's nothing that can happen adversely as far as your grade. So that's just a little bit of a tip. Be you, be safe, have fun, and I'll see you next time.